What is going on, everybody out there? Welcome to the React Podcast, part of the coalition.com. I'm your host, the epic Jakejames Lugo. I'm hanging out with Gary Swaby. Gary, my man, what's happening?
Hey, what's up? Good to be on React. And I didn't actually check out the Nintendo Direct, but it's good to be here with JJ because I know he's very passionate about this stuff, so he can talk me through everything that went down. So it's good to be here.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting because at least you're coming from an outside perspective, like hearing the news fresh for the first time or whatnot. And we just got finished recording another React episode literally just before this one, where we talked about all the stuff going on with Hideo Kojima, which was cool.
Yeah, it's a double whammy tonight.
So 2 for the price of 1. So if you haven't already, besides checking out this one, go check out the episode 21 of the React Podcast, where we had a bunch of us. It was me, you, Richard Bailey. We had Manny on there. We had Tony on there. We were all talking about Hideo Kojima and Konami. But for this episode of the React, we're going to talk about what went down with the Smash Direct, the Nintendo Direct that happened yesterday, December 15th. Okay, it's December 16th right now, so we're reacting to it a little bit late. But we want to talk about all the announcements which we had there. This was the final Smash Brothers Direct, the final, Smash Brothers focused Nintendo Direct ever, period. Like, this was the finale. Like, when you hear something like that, Gary, like, what does that kind of, like, speak to you? Like, what comes to your mind?
That's pretty crazy because I know they kind of went hard with the content in that game. So I got to give them props on that. But to hear that, this is the final step, that's kind of crazy. I mean, do you think this Smash will last as long in people's hearts as the previous ones did on other platforms?
I think so, because I think this is the one Smash Brothers that has the most diverse roster, period. I think it's got the most characters also as well, or give or take. I know that could be debatable. I have to really look at the number of characters in each game, but I know this is the most diverse roster because we have a lot more third-party characters this time around. And because of DLC, the ability to kind of like add additional content, add patches and stuff, this is going to be one I feel is supported for a very long time. Already now beyond just the additional content, but this is going to be one that's supported by the community, on the basis of that, you have all these beloved characters, some of which have never been in a Smash Brothers game before. We also have we have the competitive scene. A lot of people have been playing Super Smash Brothers competitively ever since Brawl and Melee. But like, this is the one that really kind of like honed that whole community and the casual community together.
Oh, that's dope. I still need to get the game on the 3DS. I haven't got around to that yet, but yeah, it seems like it's been pretty well received.
Definitely. I mean, it's been a year since Smash Brothers has been out. So, but let's get into the new stuff. Like, a lot of these things you're probably going to be happy about. So, the Smash Brothers Direct was hosted by Masahiro Sakurai, which, again, creator of Smash Brothers, head of Project Sora or Team Sora, whatnot. The guys over there working at HAL Industries. But basically, okay, we had a couple character announcements. We had some reveals. And we also had additional news and info about some of the previously announced downloadable content, specifically for Cloud Strife being in Super Smash Bros., which you're happy about being a Final Fantasy VII fan, correct?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I thought, you know what, maybe I should play this game because, they're putting Cloud Strife in there. So it got serious for me when they did that. So, yeah, definitely.
I mean, let's start off before we get into the big announcements. Let's start off with that, since that's the one that most of us knew for a while. Basically, Cloud Strife, he was made available at the end of the Direct, like not even like an hour or two afterwards. I picked him up. I was able to buy him. I will have impressions of his gameplay and his stage, the Midgar stage, going up on the Coalition sometime soon. Again, we've had a whole bunch of news and stuff all over the place, so things have been going down. But to kind of give like impressions for you and kind of like, explain to you like what they talked about, they went through his move list, showing off a lot of his special moves that we've seen in some of the trailers and such. They explained a little bit about his tech, where the limit break system, the little limit meter from Final Fantasy VII, does come into play. You're able to charge that meter by one of his special moves, and that in turn,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and that in turn, which is really cool, it changes the dynamics of your other special moves and allows you to execute like really powerful special moves in addition to boosting up your stats. So, how does that sound to you?
That sounds dope. I was gonna say actually, I hope they got the limit break in there. So the fact that they have it, that's awesome. Did they find any way to incorporate the magic system at all?
No, the way they kind of did it was basically that they incorporated not only Omni Slash as his final smash attack, like his super move is Omni Slash, but the way that they kind of implemented a lot of his attacks are really centered around the Buster Sword, where he has a lot of attacks to, like, for example, Climb Hazard, I think it's pronounced, or Climb Hazard. One of his limits from Final Fantasy VII is like his up special move. You know, he kind of like shoots up into the air and then comes straight back down if you hit the button again. He has a lot of twirling attacks, you know, with the Buster Sword, a lot of stabbing attacks, you know, all stuff that revolves around that. Now, I will tell you one thing, though. They did put a couple Easter eggs in there, specifically with his taunt, where it looks like he's actually casting magic from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, okay. Well, at least they got that.
And also a couple other Easter eggs, that his outfits. I mean, they have his original Final Fantasy VII outfit, and they also have his Advent Children outfit as an alternate costume.
Do they have his cross-dressing outfit?
No. But what they did do, though, which, again, attention to detail, there's a lot of little Easter eggs when you get the Cloud DLC, where not only for the Advent Children outfit, they have like different versions of it, where one of them covers the Geostigma and one of them doesn't. And you can see like the little band on his arm and stuff. And also, when you play through his classic mode, they actually change up the win screen to have the same text from Final Fantasy VII, which they have the little different sounds and stuff like that. Like all the different sound effects when he hits a character are straight pulled from Final Fantasy VII. Very similar to what they did with Ryu.
Oh wow, they put a lot of detail into that then.
And if you think that was cool, like the very final picture at the very end of, like, you know, the victory screen for classic mode, he actually is. You could see Cloud fighting like 3 Mii fighters, but all 3 of the Mii fighters look like the Turks.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
It's like little things like that that kind of just make you smile, because, you know, somebody over there is really paying attention. And like, it wasn't like a haphazard attempt at implementing someone like Cloud, because Cloud's never been in a Nintendo platform before. Like, this came out of left field for a lot of people, but it's good to see that attention to detail, to see that they're doing them right.
Yeah, and with everything that's going on with, you know, the Final Fantasy remake announcements, it's great timing as well. It's like good cross promotion and everything.
Definitely. And then on top of that, you know, really quickly before we move on, they have the Midgar stage, which I played on a bunch of times. Again, in the background, you could see the Shinra power plant. You could summon the different summons from Final Fantasy VII by gathering materia, summon materia that floats around the screen, kind of like a little hazard where every time you grab it, it summons a different, a different summon monster, and they manipulate the stage with different powers.
So
like
they did get the materia in there somehow. That's good.
Yeah, like the way they do it is that when you gather the summon material, no matter who you are, it doesn't just have to be Cloud, but it could be anybody. When you pick it up, you could summon one of a couple of different monsters. Like they have Ifrit in there, Leviathan, Ramu, Neo Bahamut, Bahamut Zero, and Odin. Like that. It's a lot of cool stuff. And each one of them does different things. Like Odin chops the level in half, and if you get caught by his attack, you get instantly KO'd. Leviathan floods the map with water, and that the water could drag you off and actually give you a KO. Bahamut actually shoots fire and actually turns the stage. Ramu electrocutes all the platforms on there. It's a lot of cool stuff.
Nice. So you can get all this stuff on the 3DS version too?
It's available for both versions for a really low price too. It's like $6.99 for both versions, for the map and for Cloud, which is cool.
That's pretty cool.
And in addition to that, you know, as an added bonus, you also get remixed tracks of Final Fantasy VII that are just exclusively for the Midgar stage. So, like, you got remixes to the battle theme, you got remixes to some of the alternate battle themes that they have for Final Fantasy VII. A lot of cool, neat stuff.
No, that's awesome.
Definitely. So that's Cloud and that's Midgar. Again, look for our impressions very, very soon. We just got to get through all the crazy news that's been happening over the last few days. So next thing that they talked about, or really the way they opened up the Direct, really, because I'm kind of going out of order here. They opened up the Direct with the announcement of a brand new character that's a new fighter coming to Smash Brothers. And it's based off of Fire Emblem Fates, which is the new Fire Emblem game that's coming out. That's coming out in February, I believe, or March, from Japan. And it's called Korin. Fights with a sword and also an actual, a spear. And there's a male and female version of this character, very similar to that of Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening. So they showed a lot of cool tech related stuff, different special moves that Corrin has, as well as also like some of the different things in the mix up and the presentation alongside most of the other Fire Emblem characters. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm still not familiar with the Fire Emblem series. The last game on the 3DS is still on my to-do list. I haven't got there yet. And it's cool that they're doing, the new Fire Emblem game, and it's great that they found a way to add this character to Smash Bros. As well. I'm looking at the character on my iPad, and it looks pretty cool. So
Yeah, they're really Nintendo's doubling down really hard with Fire Emblem as an IP. I mean, again, it had a huge response to Fire Emblem Awakening, which I think was great. Now we're getting Fire Emblem Fates, in multiple versions of that game, which is going to be two main versions as well as a third campaign for that game, which is awesome. Hands down, it's amazing. I've played Fire Emblem before, and it's so much fun. I got all the DLC for it, but they're really doubling down hard on this IP for everybody. I mean, we have a total now of 6 characters of Fire Emblem in Smash Brothers. That's insane.
that's dope.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't even have as much characters like that with Pokemon. I mean, we have a lot of Super Mario, characters like that. But you would think with Pokemon that has such a diverse cast of like monsters throughout all the entire series, you would think that would probably be the franchise that has the most characters represented in Smash Brothers, but not so much. It's Mario and Fire Emblem. Again, 6 characters that all play somewhat differently from each other, which is interesting.
That's cool. Which Pokemons do they have anyway? Do they have Mewtwo? I think.
Yeah, Mewtwo was a DLC character. The original game without any DLC, they had Lucario, they had Pikachu, and they had Jigglypuff, and also Greninja.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a lot. There's Pokemon in there. Don't get me wrong. It's just, again, it's surprising that a different IP would have much more bigger representation. And I think also because the new game is coming out, that's probably why they decided to do that. It makes business sense like that, especially with people like yourself and others that out there that probably play Nintendo games but don't know and aren't familiar with Fire Emblem. This is a great way to kind of get introduced to those characters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So besides that, because I think that pretty much wraps up that. We also had a couple announcements in the form of the Mii outfits, which the reason why they're so important this time around is because there's a lot of IPs, a lot of different franchises that are being represented now in Smash that aren't necessarily character inclusions. We have costumes for your Mii outfits, for the Mii fighters, representing Geno from Super Mario RPG, which I thought was interesting. That really got a lot of people pissed off because they were really rooting because Cloud was in Smash Brothers and it's a Square Enix character. They figured that Geno would be like the natural next step to have a character included. So they're like, did you play Super Mario RPG?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, it was another Square Enix game that was made exclusively on the Nintendo platform. So people were really hoping for that, but we ended up getting an outfit for Geno for the Mii fighters. We also got outfits for Sonic the Hedgehog characters, including Tails and Knuckles, which again another shocker for some people.
Yeah, that's pretty dope right there. Because we've seen Nintendo and Sonic crossovers and stuff, but the fact that they managed to include it in this game too, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was alongside of other people hoping that maybe Tails would be another character reveal, and then we'll have Mario and Luigi versus Sonic and Tails in Smash Brothers. That seems like gold to me. But for whatever reason, they decided not to do so. It could be a logistics reason. It could be anything at this point. I mean, at least we still got Sonic in the game, and you could dress up as your Mii fighters as Tails and Knuckles. Which again, fanboys went rampant crazy. The salt was flowing throughout the internet when that got announced.
I want to see Knuckles go up against a Pokemon like Lucario or something like that. Would be a cool fight to see.
Now you could do it with the Mii outfits, which is pretty funny. But we also had other representation as well. We also got some Final Fantasy stuff in the form of the Chocobo outfit, which I thought was funny. I'm surprised they kind of didn't go all in and start including other outfits for a black mage or a white mage, a warrior, thief, stuff like that. That's classic Final Fantasy that really had a root in classic Nintendo franchise IP or consoles, I should say, like NES, Super NES, etc. Which would have been sweet. But also, in addition to that as well, we also had some other more obscure Nintendo franchises. Now, again, I don't have the listing pulled up in front of me now, but there was 2 other old school Japanese only released games that were being represented with different Mii fighter outfits. One of them is a samurai guy. I forget. I really apologize for the name of the game. But then the other one also was stuff from WarioWare as well. There was another fantasy-oriented game that, again, another Japanese obscure title, and then a couple other outfits here and there. That's just like random that were thrown in there. Like we got this bionic outfit, like this bionic suit that looks like something out of Mass Effect, like weirdly enough. But that was that. And does that any like me outfits really kind of like speak to you at all?
I mean, how does this me thing work? Does it literally take your me and then like you put it in the game and then you can dress it with different costumes and stuff? Is that how
Yeah,
it works?
that's exactly how it works. Literally, like you could just basically put any one of your Mii's you have saved on your console or your handhelds, and actually give it one of three fighting styles that you could customize as far as like a selection of different special moves and stuff like that. And then you could put on whatever outfit that you have on your console that you downloaded or whatnot or unlocked in the main game. So people, for example, Knuckles, having that outfit in there, you can make Knuckles a fighter in this game. Or Geno, since Geno from Super Mario RPG fires with a gun and stuff, there's a gunner style that you could actually put that outfit on and make him look like Geno from that game.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, I couldn't see myself personally buying these costumes because I'd probably just buy the other characters that they put out.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's cool that they have that option for people who might want to do that.
Definitely. I mean, again, it feels a little bit like a cop out for some people, and I could totally understand where the people are coming from. But again, it could be logistics reasons why those characters weren't included, and at least there's some nods there to fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. At least
So,
it's
with
something.
that being said, though, yeah, exactly. At least it's something. So, the final big announcement, which was like the thing that kind of like shook the internet a little bit with surprise and amazement, was the winner of the Smash ballot. Now, I don't know if you know what the Smash ballot is, Gary, but for the people out there that probably don't know what this is, the Smash ballot was an actual set of like votes that are like set of contests for different characters that people could vote on for the next character for Nintendo to include in Smash Brothers. It was basically like a fan vote of a character that everybody wanted to see. Now, the crazy part about this was that Nintendo said that anybody could be included. Just put anybody that you want on the ballot that you want to see actually voted for to appear in the game, and we'll consider it. So people went nuts, like throwing all sorts of suggestions, including crazy game characters from different franchises, different movie characters, anime characters. You had stuff like Shrek in there, Goku, Sora from Kingdom Hearts, all kinds of stuff were all over the place. Like, I mean, just hearing that alone, like what comes to your mind with that, Gary? Because you're laughing, I can see.
If they had a Dragon Ball Z character in there, I would lose my shit. I would go buy that game tomorrow just because they have a Final Fantasy character, a Dragon Ball Z character, and Pokemon in the same game. Like
And
I
a
would
Street
buy
Fighter
that.
character.
Huh?
And a Street Fighter character, at least for me. But,
Oh,
but,
and
but
Street Fighter character, yeah. Like all these different characters in one game, like that concept just sounds amazing to me. So I like
no,
that
now
they
here's the crazy
gave us
thing.
a
Like,
choice with that.
yeah, now here's the crazy thing, okay? Because you're going to understand why that could have possibly been a thing at one point, at some point, during the course of this ballot voting period. This went on for a while. This went on for a little bit, close to about a year for the voting for the Smash ballot. So now yesterday they finally announced who the winner was, and the results were very surprising. The winner of the Smash ballot was Bayonetta from Bayonetta 2 on Wii U, which is absolutely insane. It caught a lot of people off guard. It was a huge surprise for people that were tuning in because everybody did not expect this to happen. Now, there was a couple of reasons for this. And the funniest part, Nintendo actually shared the stats of the votes of like what people voted for and such. For Europe, because you're out in Europe, we love our European fans out there, our European brethren.
Yeah.
Europe, the number one choice was Bayonetta. That's one, right?
Wow.
So that in Europe was number one. Now, for the United States, and here's where things start to get muddy, she was in the top three, which only means that, to what you were saying before, like, if they had like a Dragon Ball Z character or something crazy like that, I think that one of those types of characters that people were voting for that were shouting out there and such, whatnot, ended up being in the top two, or at least maybe number one, because Nintendo, during that time when they were mentioning the North American results, they said that that was the results of all the characters that were reasonably and realistically could be chosen from there, which means that everybody probably voted for Goku trolling Nintendo, which I really think happened. Which would have I would have given them a lot of credit if they went all in on it and actually did it like that and did a partnership with Shonen Jump. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was highly requested, but the logistics of making that happen was probably a bit complicated. So they probably couldn't actually do that. But Bayonetta I guess it's more doable because it is a video game character already, essentially. So
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing too. After those two stats, number one worldwide was Bayonetta. Like that means that's not just including North America and Europe. That's including Asia, probably Australia, other places around the world and stuff. And she was the number one pick out of everybody that was realistic and out of everybody that was reasonable to actually appear in the game, which is kind of cool when you think about it. A lot of people were really voting for Sora because I know this. I know friends that were really hardcore going to have Sora included in Smash Brothers, which would have been awesome too, which would have been amazing. But I think that getting someone like Bayonetta, again, is a different character, doesn't play at all like any of the other characters on the roster, is something that a lot of people thought wouldn't be included in a Nintendo game like that, especially Smash Brothers interacting with Mario and all these other characters. Bayonetta, I mean, mind blown. I mean, am I right?
yeah, it's definitely a great choice, and it is mind blowing because Bayonetta is such a she's a kind of sexualized character as well. There's a lot of criticism there with her character design and everything. So the fact that she's in this game with Mario, like you said, that's kind of mind blowing in itself. But I think it's great that there's a great it's a good mix of different characters of all kind of styles and stuff. So that makes it even more diverse, I think.
Definitely. And I mean, again, after Cloud was announced for Smash Bros., I think that at that point all bets were off because like the whole ceiling I think just blew the roof off. I mean, the whole ceiling just like collapsed at that point because again, we never thought someone like Cloud of all Final Fantasy characters or Square Enix characters would show up in a Nintendo platform that's been always exclusive to like PlayStation. Like that's been a thing. But at that point, all expectations are all kind of like preconceived notions should have been thrown out the window. But I think what's more interesting too about this is that not only did they announce her, they showed gameplay and they showed her moveset, everything. Like you could actually see her getting into fights. They really went into detail about it. What happened?
How is it? Like, how is she in the game?
Surprisingly deep. Like her fighting style again is very reminiscent of Bayonetta 1 and 2. They made it a point to emphasize that a lot of her stuff and a lot of her like her special effects when she's moving around, when she's on the ground, flying in the air, the attacks that she launches, her final smash are all heavy nods to Bayonetta 1 and 2. They even went as far as to include not only tracks from both games, but also alternate outfits for not only Bayonetta 2, but also Bayonetta 1, her outfit that looks like there, trophies of different characters from the Bayonetta games, as well as also different color skews and color schemes for different characters while, for Bayonetta specifically herself, for her getup and such. But even more so, they included a stage from Bayonetta 2. I mean, not Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta 1, the Falling Clock Tower, which I thought was insane. Like, they put a lot of work into her. And I feel like they've been working on her for a very long time.
Maybe they have, yeah. Maybe they knew. Maybe there was a point in time where they knew she was gonna win because she was already the most voted, and then they spent a lot of time working on the character. So
yeah, which absolutely insane. Now they wrapped up after showing off all her stuff, which again, she's surprisingly deep. Like she's very combo heavy. She has a lot of stuff that I feel like is if you're a tricky type of player in like any sort of fighting game, like if you love having control, like cutting your opponent off from doing stuff, or just doing things like to really kind of poke at your opponent and do combos and stuff, you're going to love playing with Bayonetta. Like clearly there's a lot of cool stuff that could be done there, a lot of combo potential. But what they really did to cap off the direct is not only did they say that more than likely both Bayonetta and Corrin, in their respective Bayonetta stage, all that more than likely they're aiming for a February release date, which in 2 months we'll get the final like characters for Smash Brothers and then the final DLC. But in addition to that, they also said that new amiibos were on the way for like some of the previously made DLC characters like Lucas, Roy, and Ryu. But also they're doing amiibos for Cloud, Corrin, and Bayonetta that are going to be coming out at a later date, which I'm guessing the summer, more than likely.
That's cool, man. I like it.
Yeah, it was a lot to get excited about. Now, again, once they announced all that stuff, they wrapped it up. It was a nice kind of like send-off from Matsuhiro Sakurai, thanking the fans for supporting the game over the course of the year, and being along for the ride. But it was very, very cool just to see all that going down. There was a lot of surprises, a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of cool stuff that got people excited about the game again.
For sure.
So with that being said, though, before we wrap up this react, with all that news being said and stuff, I mean, what do you think at some point you're going to be picking up Smash Brothers, or does any of this DLC get you excited for checking out the game more?
Definitely. I think after hearing all this stuff, it's going to be pushed up on my, list of games that I still need to buy. It's a big list because there's Vita games on there, there's 3DS games on there, there's PC games on there, so it's a big list. But I'm gonna definitely push up Smash Bros higher on that list just so I can experience some of this content. I mean, is there like any bundles or anything where you can get the DLC included or anything like that? Because
Well, here's the crazy thing. Not yet, and I think it's coming soon. I think there's going to be a version of Smash Brothers released retail wise, maybe as we get closer into next year or sometime next year, that has all the DLC included or has like vouchers to download it and such. Because there's bundles with the game on Wii U, like that you could buy a Wii U and buy the game alongside of it, but it doesn't have any of the DLC included as well. What you could do is on the eShop or through the game, technically, you could buy bundles that have like multiple was it multiple pieces of the DLC content that's available now. Like they call them collections, which is basically collection 1, 2, 3, and 4 that have all these different types of stuff. Like you'll get a character or a bunch of characters and all the me outfits that were released at that time frame. Stuff like that. I mean, they even had one where it was just the characters that were up to this point. That you could just get all that and then not get any of the stages or any of the was it me outfits and such.
okay, it sounds like a lot of different content that you're gonna have to go through and figure out what you want. But yeah, I'm excited. I definitely want to play Cloud, and it would be cool to see Bayonetta in there too. So I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Like watch the footage if you ever get a chance because it's pretty cool to see that. It's pretty cool to see at least those characters type of characters interacting and such. What I do believe though is that eventually when Nintendo decides to start talking about NX, they're probably going to throw more stuff about Smash Brothers in there. And I don't know necessarily if we're going to get what is it, a port of Smash Brothers for the NX because I really believe like now Nintendo's in this groove where they have it where they have a Smash Brothers game for one for each console generation or console platform like that. I don't think we're going to see a port of Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS get over to the NX. I think that when that finally does happen, when Smash Brothers is going to be on NX, is going to be a brand new title.
That would be a shame. It would be good if they did port it, just so that there's some support there when early in the NX life cycle. And I mean, they've done such a great job supplying all this content for Smash Bros. So it would be cool to carry on with that on the new platform if you choose to cross over to the new one. But I do see your point. I guess they would be working on another one for the NX platform in particular. So, and history has shown that they release one Smash game per console. So, hey,
Yeah,
we'll see.
definitely. I mean, again, who knows at this point? Like, I really believe that we won't probably see Smash Brothers on NX for a very long time. Whenever that system decides to come out or whatnot. But I think now is a good time to get the game. I know that the game hopefully has gone down in price a little bit, but there's a lot of DLC that's like really exciting. Again, and the other thing also too that I believe why that game won't appear on NX again is because of all these third-party character DLCs. And I mean, I know it sucks because I would love to see like my Cloud content that I just downloaded get transferred over to whatever the next game is because I love Cloud and I love Ryu from Street Fighter and all that stuff. But I feel like again they're going to remulligan and possibly get new DLC, new third-party characters for whatever the next game might be.
Yeah, and I guess there's like legalities behind that. Like you can only use the license for that character on that platform or something like that. So
I
maybe.
agree. Yeah.
So I guess you're right on that end.
Yeah. But with that being said, though, guys, I mean, that's going to do it for all this news, all this Nintendo stuff that's been breaking out recently. Again, it was a really fun direct. It was interesting stuff that we got for Smash Brothers. Any other final thoughts, Gary, before we wrap up?
Um, well, no, just shout outs to you for because we need a Nintendo guy like this to keep us up to date with what's going on with Nintendo and everything. Because usually a lot of the stuff that's reported is negative. Even me, sometimes I have a negative standpoint on Nintendo, but I do appreciate them as a company, and they definitely are necessary. So it's good to hear that they're doing good things. So shout outs to you for making sure that people know what's going on with Nintendo at all times. So
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, bro hugs all around and stuff, bruh. I'll give you a bro hug next time I see you at E3 or something.
Yeah, yeah, that happened.
But yeah, shout out to the fans. Thank you guys for listening on this stuff. All our content on thecoalition.com. Again, all the Nintendo fans out there that keep coming back, checking out, see what we got to say about what's going on with the Big N and stuff like that. But also, thank you to everybody checking out all the podcasts. Again, if you haven't already checked it out, besides this episode of the React, go check out the React that we just did about Hideo Kojima, his newly christened, newly reborn Kojima Productions, and his brand new partnership with Sony PlayStation. You know, a whole bunch of news that broke out yesterday with all the stuff going on with Kojima and Konami and whatnot. But also, again, we're going to be doing some more content very, very soon. We got new editorials going up on the coalition. We got new, again, cloud impressions that are going to be posting up very soon. A review of Yokai Watch as well. Reviews of Minecraft Wii U edition. We also got some more other editorials coming from everybody else on the site as well. We're going to be talking about hopefully Star Wars at some point. You know, I know some of the guys are very excited. We're all going to go see Star Wars tomorrow. I'm excited. You know, I'm going to be gone from the internet for like the next, like what, maybe 12 hours or so, a little bit more, because the spoilers are real. The spoilers have indeed awakened, you know, in some fashion. I mean, are you excited?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm going to see that tomorrow too, because you know the UK is ahead of you guys. I'm going to be seeing it before you guys do, so that'll be cool. I'll definitely, I won't spoil it for you, so don't worry.
Please, Gary, do not spoil it for us. Do not give it to the dark side of the force.
I won't.
Do not do that.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome and such. But also want to remind you guys about the Patreon. Gary, you have some details and stuff you want to talk about the Patreon real quickly.
Yeah, so just to bounce off of everything JJ was saying with, you know, the content on the site, we did a react yesterday. We're doing one today, and you know, we had the throwdown, and we've got the Game of the Year podcast coming up. So we're doing a lot of content, and we're trying to give you guys a lot more content in general, top quality content too. We want to step up a level and make sure everything that we're offering is the top quality. But to do this, we need you guys to, you know, support us. You know, show your support. You can donate as little as $1 per month. You know, that's nothing. That's insignificant. You know, so you can show your support by donating as little as $1 a month to our Patreon page, and you know, the link will be on this article that you're on. So yeah, please do support us if you want to see more of this content more frequently.
Definitely. So if you guys want to get more good quality, high quality, awesome, crazy, cool content from us and stuff like that, please at least donate to our Patreon or whatnot. Again, you only need to really donate $1. You don't have to donate anything crazy or anything like that. Again, whatever you could spare, we really appreciate it. We appreciate you as well. We also appreciate your time, you know, coming to check out all our stuff and whatnot. So again, we love you guys. We love that you guys keep checking out all the content and keep doing so, because it allows us to do all this cool stuff for all of you out there. So with that being said, though, this is going to end the React podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed this. We will talk to you guys again real soon. Peace out. Stay epic, everybody.
Peace.